Sorry, it's a bit later than I expected. Coming back from these holiday weekends is always a chore. But welcome back to the Associated Guests. I am always and will always be your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, we'll check in with our boy Decoy Voice to see what Nick Shirley's been up to in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's go ahead and get into it.
It's insane to think a YouTuber is exposing the worst foreign fraud ring our country has ever seen, and the mainstream media is rushing out to protect the fraudsters. As Nick Shirley recently went to Minneapolis to investigate these Somalian healthcare providers.
A list of all of the healthcare companies. Loads of them right here. We want healthcare. Yes, we'd like to speak about getting healthcare here. Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security, armed. This is the strangest
armed security
place I've ever
for
been
healthcare.
To get healthcare here, healthcare right here, another healthcare company right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here. And now we have another Helping Hands Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare? No.
Sorry.
All right.
Also finding these child care
You should really do hidden cameras for some of these, Nick.
Kids.
Just saying, especially on stuff like this.
Website, we're just wondering where the children are.
Where the children are?
Yeah, where are the children? It says you have 102 children here, and you got $2.66 million this year in funding, and $2.5 million last year. We're just wondering where the kids are.
That is harassment.
Oh, we are from ourselves.
Yeah.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going.
Yeah, never hold
Look
the
at
door.
that. Shut us down. Where
But
are the children at? No children inside of this daycare center. And look, this daycare center right here, no children inside of this daycare center.
So worst case scenario is they took in a bunch of kids that are suddenly missing. Best case is there never were any kids, and this is just another example of the rampant fraud.
I mean,
in
is that the
Minnesota.
best case?
Either way,
One of those. I
law
mean,
enforcement
sure, the
needs
kids
to
being
get
real and
involved
missing would be
today.
worse, I guess.
But when they did, they defended the alleged fraudsters.
We received a complaint that
this is just more of the fraud going on in Minnesota. Nick Shirley's been on a roll. This kid, he's really been picking up the pace, especially since Charlie Kirk died. But he's up there realizing that a lot of these healthcare providers, a lot of these places that are allegedly here to help homeless people, and alleged daycares and schools in Minnesota that have received millions of dollars in government funding, both state and federal, aren't real. They're all in the same building, or a lot of them are, and none of them are providing any service. There are no kids inside these daycare facilities. Welcome, Shapeshifter. It's always good to see you.
gentleman mentioning your description, we're in this building harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates.
Stay here. Stay here. Not work here. Stay here.
14 healthcare companies inside this building, so.
Okay.
Well, that's not what he said. He said there's 14 companies here, and he's trying to assume because they're Somali providers that everyone here is fraudulent.
Okay. So we're.
He's here with some kind of like propaganda.
No.
I mean, even if what she said is true, which it is, who cares? He's a journalist. He's not forcing his way inside. He shouldn't have grabbed the door those couple times he did that. But who cares? It's legal what he's doing. It's not harassment. Not the way he's doing it.
This is a area that we're allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance.
All right, we're getting escorted out right now. The police have arrived.
So you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are allowed to ask you to leave, and it's also one the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance.
As we got escorted out of this building, the Somalis filmed us as we left, and we headed over to the next building that had
Man,
20
for people who really hate being recorded, they sure like to record people when they're getting escorted off so they can continue their fraud campaigns.
two of the same home health care providers operating.
Now I can somewhat understand local coppers siding.
Yeah, no, the cop has to do what he does. If you're in someone's building and they ask you to leave, you have to leave. It's trespass. But beyond that.
with the suspected Somalian fraudsters, as the mayor they answer to seems to exclusively cater to the Somalian community. And it would be one thing if there was one small building committing all this healthcare fraud, but apparently this same scenario is suspected everywhere.
Have you ever seen children at that daycare center right there?
Where?
Yeah, it's right there. It says the child, you've never seen daycare.
This year they got 1.9 million. Last year they got 1.5 million of your tax money for 99 children. We just want to know where are the kids.
Right.
So Shirley attempted to check in his own fictitious kid.
Where can I get paperwork to file for my son? I wanted to put my son Joey in daycare.
And after a few questions, the lady went silent.
Looks like little Joey Shirley ain't going to daycare here.
This facility, which says it's licensed for 74 kids, was paid 1.26.
Oh no, that's the people who are allowing this and facilitating it, like Mr. Tim Walls, or Tampon Tim, as he's known, the guy who wants tampons available in men's changing rooms. I mean, I understand that trans men still have periods, but come on, dude.
$1 million in tax money, and there are no kids.
Once again, I tried to find a spot for my son Joey, and they would not open the door.
I want to put my son Joey in daycare. Is this your daycare center?
Why? Why?
What's there? What's happening?
I just want to put a child in daycare, but all the daycare centers seem to be closed.
When? No, when?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's.
But now
Where did
they're
this
all getting
money
mad.
go? What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
I honestly think Shirley should switch headlines from exposing healthcare fraud to finding the hundreds of missing children, where one is much
He really
more
should.
alarming than the other.
That would be. I like that premise. I wish Decoy Voice didn't live in L.A. So he could do this. I mean, just because it's expensive there. If he lived somewhere cheaper, he could travel around and do things.
Even though the answer is likely the kids never existed. Just like Minneapolis's other fraud, the Feeding Our Future scheme, claiming to have served over 91 million meals over 2 years. And even though Nick's concerns are more than valid, leave it to the know-nothing liberals to defend the fraud.
So this is Quality Learning Center. I meant to say Quality Learning
It's luring.
Center.
Don't open
They
up!
said they spelt learning wrong.
Don't open up!
How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children
Don't open up!
and getting $4 million over
Don't
the
open up! It's ice!
$4 million in the last 2 years?
Go away!
See,
do you
that's
think
fucked
about
up. She's
that?
stirring up stuff.
Ma'am, we are not ice.
She's saying it's ice and they're not ice.
Who you are, you don't belong here.
Don't open up! It's ice!
You do realize that there's supposed to be 99 children in here at this
But a
building,
bitch is
there's
not
no
one of them.
They really went from everything I don't like is racist to everyone I don't like is ice. But nobody's taking advice from a lady defending the Quality Learning Center that can't tell the difference between a tiny mic and fully kitted out ICE agents. But just because Minneapolis residents seem to be imbeciles doesn't mean we should.
No, I'm saying his death has really kicked a lot of people into high gear. Nick Shirley was doing a few things before his death, but ever since Charlie Kirk was murdered, he's really been gearing it up. He's been in the middle of all kinds of shit. He's been beaten, he's been battered, and he's been exposing a lot of fraud like this. Same thing with Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes has really calmed down a lot of his language since since Charlie Kirk was murdered. Steven Crowder started doing Change My Minds again, although he's doing it in more conservative colleges, or at least colleges close to home. He's still doing it again. Just a lot of people. Ben Shapiro said he was going to pick up the blood-soaked mic. Candace Owens has lost her fucking mind. Not that she had much to begin with. Tim Pool is terrified and may retire from the space. A lot of people have changed and really kicked it up or taken a half step back since Charlie Kirk was murdered. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just allow foreign fraudsters to steal from.
But Nick Shirley, like I had seen him do a couple of things before Kirk. He had been on Timcast a few times, but God, I feel like I see his name a lot in the past. How long has it been? 5 months?
America. You just wonder why it takes a YouTuber to uncover these crimes while the mainstream media stays silent. As sure, not the Babylon Bee reported on the $110 million of fraud, but every single corporate media outlet conveniently ignored the story, as it directly contradicts the previous reporting of Trump claims Minnesota lost billions to fraud, but the evidence isn't even close, where they're just likely covering for their Democrat friends who all seem to get kickbacks from these, quote, healthcare.
Yeah, the Democrats don't care. The same way that they think all conservatives get a kickback from the gun lobby and shit, like the gun lobby has that much money. The Democrats get that much from Big Pharma and fraud rings like this.
Clinics. It's fascinating
Also
to
the
watch
votes.
whenever fraud gets exposed, when the other random entities get offended by the accusations, unknowingly snitching on themselves. The same thing happened when Elon Musk and Doge discovered billions of USAID fraud. State-sponsored media and PBS rushed out to deflect these accusations, with every Democrat simultaneously freaking out over the discovery. It's almost like this same script keeps getting recycled. But finally, regular citizens like you and me are catching on and demanding something be done about these Democrats, as more street journalists are looking into this.
This daycare right here, ran by Somalians, has taken in from the Minnesota government $1.1 million. This daycare says it can hold up to 40 children. I went up to the door is locked, and as you can see, the windows are blacked out. It's midday right now. You'd think there'd be children in there playing, being taught, but no one is in there.
Even all the way over in Ohio, they're discovering the same.
Every single Somali restaurant has a grocery store right next door, and that's the common trend you'll see. There's restaurants, grocery stores, and daycare centers, and also home health care businesses.
It's insane to think some randomly stitched together social media post has accomplished.
I mean, I don't find that very interesting. As someone who grew up in a heavily, Vietnamese town, I mean, some people just do different things. In my hometown, there's a lot of Vietnamese restaurants, at least more than you'll see in much larger cities. A lot of jewelry stores and so on and so forth, and they make good money. They're cool. They were most of my friends growing up. They were at the same bus stop, and we just, kind of grew from there. I miss them. I haven't seen them in years. One of them went from being a short, fat kid to just being a bohunk with the same comb-over haircut. Miss you, buddy.
More investigative journalism than any of our multi-million-dollar mainstream media outlets. And notice how none of these YouTubers or TikTokers are saying, deport every single one of them, including any innocent, unrelated citizens. They're simply pointing out the specific incidents of alleged fraud. But of course the Democrats would default to, this is racism.
Yes, folks have done, horrible things, and people have committed crimes, but we should not be pointing the entire community in one.
In the video,
you only point at the entire community when there's a lot of fraud coming from that community, a lot of crime. Certain statistics go up, like grape and SA and such. Around the time and ever since, certain communities have been shifted or moved to a certain area. It's not necessarily racism. It could be involved. I'm sure there are a lot of racist people who see it that way. But, I mean, if you're right, you're right.
Osmond tells the room how he arranged a call with the MDE commissioner about their attempts to stop new meal sites.
But I'm one of those people that push back and call it what it is, which is racist.
With social media users suggesting the same.
So you mean to tell me you went all the way to Minnesota just to pocket watch? And then on top of that, put out misinformation? This is getting out of hand, but we will not accept this. We will not tolerate this in the state of Somalia.
They didn't put out misinformation. Now, they might be reaching the wrong conclusions from what they saw, but what they saw was fairly compelling. Daycare centers empty in the middle of the workday, according to them.
I'm sick of these people, bro. I'm sick and tired of them, bro. They stay hating on us, bro.
Now, if it turns out that he was there in the middle of a Sunday, and they just happened to be closed, but there were people there. If there are people there, generally, there should be at least a few kids. You'd be able to hear that one bad kid or a few kids playing at the very least. Especially at the one that they had 2 daycares across the hall from each other in one building. You would have seen or heard, you know, at least a couple of kids. Even if it was on the weekend, if they were open, which they were. But if it was a weekday, come on, man. Come on, man.
What, bro? Like, leave us alone. If you beef one Somali, you beef every Somali. If there's one thing about Somalis, they are going to ride out for their Somali brothers and sisters. They don't do one-on-ones. They're gonna jump you. The Somali...
Oh, so they're a bunch of bitches is what you're saying. So what you're saying is, if you point out someone's doing something wrong, even if they are doing it, you're going to be a bunch of bitches and gang up on somebody, 1 or 2 people. That shows that you're bitch made. That's bitch behavior, okay? I'm sorry. I'm saying the bitch word a lot, but that's what that is. You can't... Look, 1, that's illegal. You admitted to crimes right there. Asking for crimes and straight up saying you'll commit crimes. If people are doing journalism, come on.
Network is bigger than Google. It's even faster than Google. Next time you get into beef with a Somali, if you ever do, just let it slide. Because I promise you, you are going to have like 50,000 man on your case.
It's always sickening to see.
That's disgusting. Look, I got nothing wrong with the Somali people in general, but if that's true, pirates are bitches.
This bottom feeder mentality. Since I'm the same race as somebody committing a crime, I'm automatically siding with the criminals.
And that's stupid regardless of the race, gender, whatever, okay? You have to be able to admit that there's bad behavior in any community. White, black, male, female, gay, straight, trans, or whatever. Like, you have to be able to point out when someone does something wrong, especially inside your own community, because it makes the community as a whole look bad. Now, if people are saying something false, then by all means, fight it tooth and nail. Stand up for your people because they got you wrong or got this person wrong, and it makes the whole community look bad that they were even accused. But if they did it, I mean, it's your job to set them outside like the cat from the opening credits of the Flintstones, man.
It's literally the lowest IQ value to have, as it basically condemns your entire group to only ascend as far as what the lowest contributor will allow you to. But gone are the days where claims of...
There's no child left behind shit. Thanks, George Bush.
...of discovering fraud is racist will deter any ordinary Americans from calling it out. As Nick Shirley's video quickly went viral, gaining over 47 million views in a day, with Don Jr. reposting asking everybody to watch, as Elon Musk wants Governor Tim Walz to be prosecuted. And what was Walz's
I don't disagree.
response?
Look, if Walz is aware of this, he needs to stand trial for it. I don't care. If you catch Democrats or Republicans doing this level of bullshit, I don't care. I got no party affiliation. Put them all in jail. I don't care. If they're on Trump's team, put them in jail. Put Bondi in jail. I don't care. Especially Bondi. God, get her out of there. She's the worst of all. Look, we can all agree. In Trump cabinet, Bondi's the worst. We can all agree that she's awful.
Some nonsense about his cat, to which the U.S. Department of Labor responded with a news article saying a strike team is coming to Minnesota to investigate rampant fraud. It really feels like the walls are finally closing in on Walz. Best case, all this fraud occurred under his watch, and he was just too dumb to discover it. Or worst case,
the fifth wall.
He was welcoming the fraud because he got a piece of it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it is. This is probably one of the reasons why he was considered for the VP spot. He had done the most for the agenda. The only thing that makes sense to me, the guy's retarded.
It's just sad to think how long they've got away with all of this.
And I've been saying he's retarded since before Trump did, okay? I don't care. I don't care. I don't say things just because anybody else says it. I say it because it's accurate, or I find it to be true.
Investigative journalists like Nick Shirley finally stepped in. As the first day, he was a top trend on Twitter, but a day later, he even trended in California. as Governor
Get it,
Newsom's
Nick.
state is most known for its wasteful spending, but now the billions of dollars of fraud.
The Department of Finance, which was tasked with giving out COVID relief funds, critics say $32 billion of that was taken by fraudsters. $24 billion spent on the homeless issue that critics claim the state lost track of.
Yeah. They keep getting more and more money every year for the homeless situation, and they don't do anything about it. They could build buildings, but they don't want to interrupt that shoreline for the rich folks on the hill. That's literally why they won't build anything down in the city. They could house all the homeless folk. All the money that they put in, they could build them a really nice community. Most of them, well, a lot of them don't want it. A lot of them wouldn't know how to function if they did because they're so strung out on drugs or been at it for so fucking long. There are homeless people who are there, especially the more recent ones, who ain't all that yet. A lot of people go to California hoping to hit it big and they bust. And they become homeless. It's real sad for every... And the funny thing is, a lot of these stories of people who claim that they did that, they was rich or had money already. They come from affluent families, maybe not in California, but from across the country. So they had a fallback even if they didn't make it. But
finding fraud isn't an attack on any specific ethnicity. It's about finding fraud, and anybody defending it is probably profiting off it, as there's a reason California has some of the highest costs of living, despite...
Hold on. Okay. Yeah, Arkansas is real low. I will say this area right here has bumped up a whole lot. Little Rock's always been awful. Damn. Yeah. Man, if this is Texas, I can't imagine how much it costs to live there, man. California or Hawaii, I'll say this. This little island of Hawaii, that dark red one, how long ago was it? 15 years ago? Costs about the same as it does to live in areas that are this color today. That's inflation.
Cost of living, despite Los Angeles looking like this, and San Francisco the zombie apocalypse, as California is truly third world living at first world prices. So
Yeah,
I really hope
damn
Nick
that.
Shirley comes to California next to end Governor Newsom's career, because it doesn't get like this without somebody on the back end getting obnoxiously rich. So if you appreciate my concise, light order commentary,
I definitely do. Make sure you go check out Decoy Voice on his channel. Go check out Nick Shirley and all the good stuff that he's doing over there. Because like I said, the man's been busy ever since. Well, I mean, he's been busy in general, but especially since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Nick Shirley's been on the move. And he's doing his best to make a lot of change. Now, he's young, so he's grabbing doors when he shouldn't. He's making a few small mistakes here and there that could land him in some trouble if he's not careful. But I will say I think he's doing, or at least trying to do a good thing. If it turns out that he's accusing a lot of people that are just trying to do good and they saw him staring in the windows and hit all the kids in the back or something like that, then whatever. I'll be the first one to throw my middle finger toward Nick Shirley and be like, hey, man, what are you doing? Fuck off. But it don't seem like that's the case quite yet. That and Tim Walz always looks guilty. He always looks guilty. Always. And he got accused of all this fraud and went on the news and kept talking about how Trump called him a retard. Stop acting like a retard and Trump won't call you a retard, man. That's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, he probably will, but he's an asshole like that. And he made more of a stink about him being called a retard than anything he said about any of this fraud. Don't give these people something to cry about. Call them out. This is why I don't like personal attacks when it comes to pointing out people's wrongdoing and fraud and such. You just gonna give them something to cry about, something to make them look like the little victim in all this situation. Look, I think Tim Walz is guilty. I think Ilhan Omar is guilty. Again, I got no party affiliation. It just happens to look like I'm leaning a certain way because a certain other side is all the way against the cliff, standing up straight, trying to pull the rope and try to pull the rest of the country in that direction. All right. I still consider myself heavily liberal. I can see some kind of socialist communist system working if we ever get to that Star Trek level where you got one of those things that just automatically make things happen right in front of you. I want a milkshake. Bam, milkshake. Delicious. Best you've ever had. And the ingredients are real. No filler. Because you don't have to worry about waste when you can just manifest stuff. You can turn matter into substance. But that's just me. I am a more rational liberal, way more rational than I was in my youth. So hopefully that'll resonate with some folk. But I'm also a Southern man, and I don't know what that means anymore. But you know, hospitality. I'm a big fan of just everyone letting people live. I don't like people kicking people around. I've never liked bullies. Never. That being said, I bully my friends around quite a lot. But they're in on it, so it's all right. But that's all I got for today. Sorry about the slightly shorter show today. Again, first day back is always a mess. But make sure you catch my couple of shows I did yesterday morning. One I did for Scary Mask Shapeshifter there. An AI-generated movie made for Mr. Tectone himself, my evil twin, we'll say. If I ever get to the point where I can make enough money just doing this, I might show y'all how much me and Tone look alike. But then I did another video on a few upcoming things on how I would change the Star Wars sequel series, or sequel trilogy. That's going to be something I do before too long, over the course of the next couple of months. But until then, I'm going to explore some lore. So make sure you join me for that. That'll be some weekend activity. But thank you all for stopping by. I got to get to work. Y'all just please don't believe everything that you hear. Make sure you do just a little bit of research. Don't be one of these headline readers like you see a lot these days. It's on the left and the right, but it seems both sides accuse the other of being that. But both sides do that as long as the people who put out the headline is on their side of the divide. And I'm tired of straddling the divide and calling all y'all idiots. Retards even. But again, I'm not doing this for money. I'm just out here trying to see if I can find some rationality in a very unrational, or is it unrational? Yeah, irrational world. Apologies. It's early yet, but y'all have a great day. We will see y'all in the morning.